Well, it was a Saturday morning, and I was at home, and I received a phone call from Molly Carson, who, if you don't know, she is the vice president in our Phoenix office. And Molly is actually at that time was played a role as a developer for the Brookside Marketplace, located in Tinley Park, Illinois. Molly had saw it on breaking news on television and wanted me to be aware that this had occurred.
So you said it was Saturday morning that you first heard that then?
Correct.
And then I guess what were the next steps, or who were the first people, I guess, I'm sure your first thought is shock and disbelief and not knowing what to do.
The first person I contacted then was Mike McElroy, and the reason I called Mike was just to notify him first of all, and then just to walk through our direction that we as the real estate management department wanted to go forward with. The second person that I notified was Kathy Berger. Kathy Berger is with CB Richard Ellis, and we hired them as a day-to-day operations manager. And just to notify her and make sure that we had some staff on site to help and assist with the detectives and the police and the governing agencies there. And then the third person I spoke with was Jeff Smith, who was at that time residing in Chicago area, and he was actually the main contact with Padilla Spear, who's our public relations agency.
Upon landing in Chicago, then I'm assuming you left probably as soon as possible. Who were the first groups or people that you met with then once you arrived?
The first people I met on Sunday morning were the police detectives, the police and the detectives, and the mayor and the city manager. And they wanted to get together right in the council chambers, talk a little bit about what happened, bring us up to date on what are some of the next steps that we needed to take collectively.
Describe how you used your IREM group to identify a property manager of a shopping center that had also experienced a similar situation.
I remembered that in Omaha that there had been an unfortunate experience with another property manager had at a Nordstrom store, and 10 people were shot, and it was by a disgruntled employee. So I reached out to our IREM connections, and I'd asked for the name of the president in Omaha. I remembered it was in Omaha. And I contacted that president, and I asked them to do me a favor. I explained the situation. I asked them to find the contact person or someone that would be able to help me from that Nordstrom incident. And so she provided me with that information. I called the property manager, and it was the best thing I ever did, to reach out to someone else that had gone through it. And once I introduced myself and said my name, he said, "I am so sorry," because I know exactly what communication is one of the most important things that we needed to do and provide to our tenants. And not necessarily was it always positive communication, but they wanted to know exactly what was going on. Second of all, he said, "You need to take care of yourself." He said, "You're going through a lot. You don't realize it yourself. You're just running on adrenaline right now." And he said, "I provided grief counseling for the families and for the employees of the entire property." And so I contacted United Way, and I walked through the situation with them. They were, by the way, they were the first on site after the police came after the initial call to assist the tenants just adjacent to the Lane Bryant space and to the families that had arrived at the situation. One of the things that I did do, and it's certainly helpful down the road, is that I did document everything. One of the things that was also I could not have done without, and that was my team. Because when I left on Saturday, I just wrote them a note and just said, "I have to go to Chicago. This is what happened," and I cannot focus at all on what's going on in my portfolio or on my desk. And they just took over, and I knew I didn't have to worry about anything. They just absolutely took over.
Wendy, I'd like to thank you for taking the time today to discuss this.
Thank you.